Hi, my name's Carl. I'm a counsellor, a therapist from the UK, and I also work in tech, in software. And I was browsing on Facebook the other day and Ed Sheeran popped up. I saw him write, I got rid of my phone in 2015 and moved on to email full time. I just turned my phone off December 15 and that was it. Which in itself is a bit of a crazy concept, isn't it? Who does that these days? Don't get me wrong, I love the idea of it. A digital detox. Once or twice a year I go off on a silent retreat, and one of the things I love most about it is that there are no phones, no pads, no internet connection. It's just that complete silence. But no phone since December 15, nearly 10 years. Wow. Anyway, he goes on to say, when I got sued, the judge ordered me to give up my old devices to the other side's lawyers to look through messages, emails, voice notes, videos, etc. In the process, I switched on my old phone. The first message was from my friend Jamal Edwards, who had recently passed away. The second was from my ex-girlfriend, who I hadn't been in contact with for years. The third was a family member I haven't spoken to in a decade, and so on. It felt like a time capsule, time of life I was living at that time in 2015. It really spun me out. And the post goes on. But anyway, it caught my attention. The combination of the photos that are obviously from his old phone and that text caught my attention. And I thought, do you know what? I like Ed Sheeran. I can't say I particularly kept up with his music other than the singles that you hear. I haven't sat and listened to an Ed Sheeran album from start to finish since the very early days. But if he's got a new song out, old phone, then I'll give it a listen. Let's go.
I found my old phone today in a box that I had hidden away. Nostalgia trying to lead me astray. Maybe I'll unright some wrong.
Nostalgia trying to lead me astray. Nostalgia is such a powerful thing, isn't it? It's so emotive and it tends to be so mixed up. It feels good to look back on things, sometimes with rose-tinted glasses. It can feel really therapeutic. But, you know, if you find an old shoebox full of little trinkets and ticket stubs for gigs and events you've been to and photos and so on, and this is sort of the digital version of that, isn't it? But it can be hard as well. It can be hard to think back to certain times and more painful emotions that haven't been fully processed as well.
I charged the battery again. Combinations cause my passcode had changed. Opened up and saw familiar names. Now I wonder where they've gone. Conversations with my dead friends. Messages from all my exes. I kinda think that this was best left in the past where it belongs. I feel an overwhelming sadness of all the friends I do not have left. Seeing how my family has fractured, growing up and moving on. I found my old phone today. Arguments that I tried to keep at bay. The ones who loved me, I just pushed them away. Couldn't tell the difference from the lead.
So he is really focusing on a lot of those negative feelings that get stirred up, isn't he? And in typical Ed Sheeran fashion, the song itself, the riffs and the melody are actually quite joyful, quite bouncy. And if you weren't listening to the lyrics, if you weren't paying attention, if this was just on in the background when you're at a restaurant eating your meal or something, it wouldn't get you down. It wouldn't affect your mood. But if you really look at what he's singing about, and some of these lines are really sharp, aren't they? His penmanship. He's very good at condensing down lots of really complex ideas into just a few words. I really like it. It feels to me like classic Ed Sheeran, like one of the old songs from way back when, in the best possible way. This video has been brought to you by Nebula Treats. This channel has always been about supporting rising tides, whether that is small reaction channels, small artists, or small businesses like this one. Nebula Treats, a family-run business built around one simple idea. Gifting should be joyful, not stressful. So I'll leave the link in the description to Nebula Treats. You can meet the family that's behind this wonderful little business. You can see the hampers that they have put together. They're here to make thoughtful gifting easy. Check out the link in the description and support this lovely family business. I love it. Love it. On with the reaction.
My close hand still holds some mate, but if I'm open it gets smaller day by day. I can't tell if it is pleasure or pain, trying to keep within my remit. Conversations with my dead friends, messages from all my exes. I kinda think that this was best left. They're in the past where it belongs. I feel an overwhelming sadness of all the friends I do not have left. Seeing how my family has fractured, growing up and moving on. So full of love, yet so full of hate. I put it back inside there from whence it came. Nothing good will come from regretting conversations with my dead friends, messages from all my exes. I kinda think that this was best left. They're in the past where it belongs. I feel an overwhelming sadness of all the friends I do not have left. Seeing how my family has fractured, growing up and moving on. I found my old phone today.
I mean, I was born in 1982, November, and I remember a fad in the 90s, it was probably the late 90s in the run up to the year 2000, the millennium. I remember a fad for time capsules. It was on programs like Blue Peter and stuff at the time in the UK, where for some reason everybody was just burying stuff, all of their personal effects, putting them in an airtight box, watertight box, digging a hole and burying them. Whatever happened to all those time capsules? I don't remember them ever being dug up again. If you're watching this and you remember that, and you know you buried a time capsule, or you know anybody else that did, let me know in the comments. Is it still there? What did it have in it? Amazing. It'd be great to dig some of these up and have a look now, wouldn't it? Love it. Some of that stuff will be worth some money as well on eBay and Vinted. I mean, it strikes me that this is a song that my generation can understand from like a technical point of view, because we had those old phones and everything was stored locally on those phones. But now, of course, everything's in the cloud, everything's backed up 10 million times. There'll be no sort of escaping our digital record of our lives going forward. And I feel like I should be a bit scared by that. I should find it a bit daunting, but I already feel like that's just the way it is now. That's just the fabric of our life now, has got this digital imprint. In software, they have this concept of a digital twin. So you might have an aeroplane, and then you have a digital twin of the aeroplane, which comprises of all the data from different sensors and readings and instruments, replicated, stored in the cloud, replicating a digital version of that aeroplane, so you can monitor the condition of critical parts and all that good stuff. That's sort of what we're doing with our lives, isn't it? Creating a digital twin of ourselves. It's fascinating. And then, of course, the big companies, the social media companies, the search engine companies, we've given all of that data about ourselves to them. We are the products. And what are they going to do with it? Can we trust them? Can we? Can we trust them to have a digital version of our whole life? And in this song, isn't it mad how something as mundane as a phone can hold ghosts, not just memories of other people, but past versions of ourselves. And all of this technology is supposed to connect us and make us feel more connected. And yet, in this song, Ed sounds desperately lonely, disconnected from the past, from the friendships that he's had in the past that he hasn't been able to maintain, from those that he's lost, that have moved on. And so it's like this double-edged sword, isn't it? It makes connection easier than ever. And yet, many of us feel more and more lonely. I thought that line, seeing how my family has fractured, that really tore at my heartstrings. I did see a documentary with Ed and his family. I think it might have been on Apple Music. Might have that wrong. And it was actually really nice to feel like you got to know him a little bit more and understood some of the decisions that he'd made along his career and some of the really tough stuff that he's been through. So it's sad to hear that he feels like his family is fractured, has been fractured over the years. And there's just this sort of overall poignancy and almost sense of regret for having even looked through this stuff, isn't it? And I think there's wisdom in knowing when to stop digging through the ashes of your past. Some memories are better left undisturbed, not because they don't matter, but because you do. I thought that was a great song. I thought it was classic Ed Sheeran. It reminded me of when I was younger, just by virtue of the fact that the structure of the song and the chords and the melody felt like old Ed Sheeran, and I think that was very intentional. He's taken us back in time ourselves through the sound of the song, not just the lyrics and the thoughts and the emotions that they evoke. Very clever. My name is Carl. My channel is The Real Disco Doc. There's a story about that. It's a long story. I'll let you know sometime if you don't already. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do hit subscribe. It makes a big difference to a small channel like mine. For now, peace.